The glory days of the Arab Spring didn't last long here in Libya. Ever since the downfall and death of the former leader Muammar Gaddafi in 2011, the country has been plunged in chaos and civil war. And divisions have made it easier for armed groups, including Daesh, to gain a foothold here. Now at the moment, Libya has 3 governments, each with its own foreign backer. But only one is recognized by the United Nations, and we're here to meet its head, Prime Minister Fayez Sarraj. I'm Zaina Awad, and this is One on One. Prime Minister, I'd like to start by talking about the recent meeting you've held with General Khalifa Haftar, who now is gathering some support among key players in the international community. What does he need to do in order to be accepted by you as part of some form of a unified Libyan government?
We discussed unifying our military in our meeting with Mr. Khalifa, and he was also excited about that idea. Of course, there are a lot of details to iron out. So our respective military factions need to sit down and speak to each other to set the foundation for unity.
What does the international community need to do to help Libya rebuild itself and secure its borders?
Economic support here is extremely shy and lacking. There are misconceptions by people who believe that Libya is a rich country with resources, but a lot of our assets have been frozen. The international community can help by lifting the arms embargo. This will be really useful for our coast guards. They are struggling to protect the shores because they don't have sufficient means to do their jobs, and they need more diverse weaponry.
There's been a lot of criticism over the handling of the refugee and migrant issues, and there are a number of NGOs who have now suspended their rescue operations off the coast of Libya. They've been quite critical of the human rights record. MSF, or Doctors Without Borders, is one of them, and MSF has said, and I quote, that European states and Libyan authorities are jointly implementing a blockade on the ability of people to seek safety. This is an unacceptable assault on people's lives and dignities. What do you have to say about that?
There's been some friction between some of the NGOs and our Coast Guard at sea during rescue operations over the past few months. We need to bring the situation under control so that NGOs are able to have a positive presence at sea. We are prepared to cooperate with any international party that is monitoring what is happening in these migration centers. We have warned our security forces that any human rights violations are unacceptable. So if there were any violations, then it happened at an individual level, and it's not something that's been institutionalized by the government.
I'd like to talk about Sirte, which was Daesh's stronghold here in Libya until the group was defeated quite recently. Sirte seems quite secure, but the people there have expressed a sense of alienation to us. What do you need to do in order to address their grievances?
We are very aware of the suffering that is taking place following our success in the city. A citizen in Sirte will be concerned with basic services, their house, the roads, electricity, healthcare, education, and this is normal anywhere. So these are great challenges for us. Despite this, we've been doing everything in our power, and we hope that different political sides will help in this task.
There's also the fact that Libya is in a very difficult economic situation. By some estimates, the country could go bankrupt by the end of this year, and there's a liquidity problem. Does your government have an economic plan to help deal with the situation?
There is a problem. We have repeatedly asked the central bank to step up and take responsibility for this issue in improving cash flow at the banks. We are pained by the long lines we see in the front of the banks. The truth is, these are painful scenes. When we came to power, the production was less than 208,000 barrels. Now we're talking about 1 million barrels, and this has been positive. Of course, the prices around the world are affecting Libya, but at least we are doing what's in our power to increase oil production.
When you look at the larger situation here in Libya, the lack of government services, the alienation among people, the security vacuum, do you ever worry that your government, the UN-backed government, might find itself overlooked and undermined?
We don't have any other options except facing these challenges and problems head-on and finding solutions. Of course, when a person is going through frustrating circumstances, he will be prepared to try out solutions he may have rejected previously. That is for sure.
حيبحث حتى على حلول كان يرفضها في السابق.